for fun. What's up, folks?
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to today's middle of the day motivation time.
Middle of
Better
the
known
day.
as
Motivation.
midday motivation.
Hey, folks.
Come on in the room
Come on.
and speak to us. We're back. We're black.
And without fail,
Kid
enter kid
stage.
Why do you have that on your head?
because I'm conditioning my hair. I have a plastic bag on my head right now.
That wasn't planned. That little question.
Oh,
Because, of course, somebody would probably ask, what's that on First Lady?
people ain't asking that in 2020. Please.
They might. I don't know.
What the?
Everybody got a head wrap on.
She trying to be like me.
That's what it is. Trying to be like him.
If you're determined to have a productive day, go ahead and put a boom in the comment feed. Thank you for give us a like, a subscription, and a notifications bell on YouTube.
Hello.
Those of you that are on Periscope,
Yes, too.
whenever you tap the screen, you'll make those hearts begin to fly. So we appreciate all the love.
What a love.
All right.
What a love.
We are here. Make sure and share this as well. Share. If you can share it, share it.
Share it.
And if you're able to share it, then share it again. And after you share it again,
Share it again. Okay.
What movie is that from?
This is not.
Good morning, Smiths. All righty then. All righty then.
You're welcome.
Hey there, Reverend Daisy, Sister Jackie. Make sure you use that hashtag live_free revolution right there.
That's the one. And we need to put the other one up. The Mount Up Challenge. Are we not
52
challenging?
Mount Up Challenge. What is wrong with the lighting? I don't know what just happened. Okay.
My lighting is great.
Yes, you're brighter than me. You're darker than me.
My lighting looks. Now I look like I'm reflecting.
It's because of your
My
your
head,
scarf
my
thing.
do-rag.
That's what it is.
My do-rag.
That's white and everything else is gray. So it's really picking that up.
Mm-hmm.
So like the closer I get to you, see, I get lighter. But y'all can't tell that. We can tell it on our end.
Bring out the light in
You make me lighter.
you. I bring out the light in you.
I thought you liked me because I always talk.
Push my chocolate drop.
What are you trying to say?
You my chocolate drop.
Even though. Dun dun dun. Tan line.
Oh man, got my tan line out the shoulders. I can't even get my sleeve up there, so it's okay.
All right. Nehemiah.
He said he was getting through chapters 10 and 11. Excuse me.
Briefing. Okay, briefing.
Let's see how.
So yesterday we gave y'all a special Labor Day midday motivation. Don't you labor, but you let the word do the work. Here in Nehemiah, they have just finished. They are just in the midst of the praise service, of the worship service, and to recall your mind, therefore you have hope. In Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 5, the Levites said, "Stand up and bless the Lord your God forever and ever." And then they begin to bless the Lord. They begin to talk about what he has done for them. They begin to testify of the goodness of the Lord. Chapters 10, verses 1 through 27 talk about Nehemiah, the leaders. Then it talks about the priests and the Levites who signed this same document affirming the same thing. Then it goes to the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, and the Nephilim, those who served in the temple, and those who were separated, they who had separated themselves from the people of the land, lawgivers, wives, sons, daughters, and sons, everyone who had knowledge and understanding. They joined with their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse and an oath to walk in God's law that verse, everything that's in chapter 9 and up to chapter 10, verse 29 is very, very important because they praise God, they worship God, and they say, hey, what's going on, Apostle Davis?
Apostle
They
Davis,
say,
I'm up.
yeah, right, exactly. See, ain't just me. Y'all on it. They say we are going to do what God says. It's very important that you remember that they say that, okay? When we pick up chapter 10, verse 30, the very next verse, it says, we will not give our daughters as wives to the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons. If the peoples of the land brought wares or any grain to sell on the Sabbath day, we would not buy it from them on the Sabbath or on a holy day. We would still buy things. We would still buy the goods and things that they're selling, things that we need, but we're just not going to do it on the Sabbath day. All right. Let's pick up verse 31. Continue verse 31. And we would forego the 7th year's produce and the exacting of every debt. So they're going to do everything. What they're saying is they're going to do everything that the law of God says. Now, where did this come from? This burning desire to do what the word says came from the fact that you just see. Wow, bless the Lord. Yeah. Apostle Davis just preached this same thing, so you know what I'm talking about. You can testify that we say the right thing. So they had just read what the law of God says. Hey, good morning there, Pop. It says that the law of God told them exactly what God told Moses, and they have agreed to do just that. They said, we're forsaking all the other things we're going to do what the Lord wants us to do. We're not going to buy anything on the Sabbath. We're not going to do any of that on the Sabbath or any other holy day. In the 7th year's produce, what's 7th year? Every 7th year, everything rests. The debts are canceled, etc. Everything goes back to brand new on the next series of 7s. Tetelestai. That's Greek for it is finished. It is finished. Why are we whispering? I don't know.
That canceled.
All right.
Paid in full.
Paid in full. Gone. Finito. See ya.
Satisfied.
Satisfied.
Boom.
Fully satisfied.
Come on.
So
that's blessing me right now.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner. Tetelestai. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
So
Chapter 10, verse 32. It says, after we made ordinances for ourselves to exact from ourselves yearly 1/3 of a shekel of service of the house of God. So they're going to give to the house of God for the showbread, for the regular grain offering, for the regular burnt offerings, for the Sabbath, the new moons, and the set feasts, for the holy things, for the sin offerings, to make atonement for Israel, and all the work of the house of God. We're going to do everything we were doing back in, hey, Sister Claudette, praying for you for the past. We cast lots among the priests, the Levites, and the people for bringing the wood offering into the house of our God, according to our Father's house, at the appointed times year by year, to burn on the altar of the Lord our God, as it is written in the law. So they had just heard the word, they just heard what the Lord said and how to worship him and what they're supposed to do, and they agree. We're going to do it. Why is this a big deal? Because they haven't done it for centuries. It's been more than 100 years since they heard the word read. It's been more than 100 years since they were able to practice these things. Number one, the temple wasn't built. Number two, they weren't even in Jerusalem. Number three, the walls of Jerusalem weren't built. They couldn't do these things. So they couldn't celebrate the Sabbath. Remember, when they were in Egypt, they couldn't celebrate the Sabbath. They couldn't do absolutely. It was just like homecoming in the country, or church anniversary, if you will. All right. They said, we're going back to what we're supposed to be doing. All right. And we made ordinances to bring the first fruits of our ground, the first fruits of all the fruits of the trees, year by year to the house of the Lord, to bring the firstborn of our sons and our cattle, as it is written in the law, and the firstborn of our herds and our flocks, to the house of our God, the priests who minister to the house of the Lord. Now, I'm trying to get the way I say it.
Oh my God.
They're doing all of the things that the Lord tells them to do. Verse 37, the first fruits of the dough, offerings, the fruits from all kinds of trees, the new oil, the wine, to the priests, to the storehouses. They gave wine to the priests. Glory. They gave new wine, not old wine. new wine, and oil to the priest. Show you right. To the storerooms of the house of our God, and to bring the tithes of our land to the Levites. For the Levites should receive the tithes in all of our farming communities. So they brought it to the house, and remember, a portion of it goes to the priest, or to the Levites, and a portion to the priest. And the priest, the descendant of Aaron, shall be with the Levites when the Levites receive tithes, and the Levites shall bring up a tenth of the tithe to the house of our God. The Levites tithe off of the tithe. The Levites tithe based on what they get. The people tithe based on what they get. Okay, to the house of our God for the rooms of the storehouse. Bring ye all the tithes where? Into the storehouse. Okay, chapter 10, verse 39.
So wait. If the Levites receive the tithes, then should the trustees be part of the Levitical order?
Yeah. Yep. Bezalel and Aholiab and all of those in Exodus 31. Absolutely. First trustees in the Bible. Exodus 31. Right there. His little bit was in Adam too, because he had to till and take care of it. I'm sorry, let me stay on that. Chapter 10, verse 39. Last verse of chapter 10 says, for the children of Israel and the children of Levi shall bring the offering of the grain, of the new wine, of the oil, and the oil to the storerooms where the articles of the sanctuary are, where the priests who minister and the gatekeepers and the singers are, and we will not neglect the house of God. So I had to go through that for us to understand the impact of what they said in verse 29. They entered into a curse and an oath to walk in God's law. In other words, they're saying they entered into a conditional covenant with God, saying, if we don't do these things, you got the right, Lord, to do whatever you want to do. But we're promising, we're agreeing, we're committing to do these very things. All right. Nehemiah chapter 11, verse number 1. This is how it's going to motor. Watch this. Now the leaders of the people dwelt in Jerusalem. The rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 out of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the holy city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. So here's what's going on. Remember, nobody was really living in Jerusalem. Now, in Bible day, people wouldn't live in the city because that's where the enemies came to attack. So if you lived in the country area, you had your land out there with your herds and what have you, the enemies typically left you alone because you were outside of the city, right? The city is where the citadel is. It's where the leaders, where the governors and all of those things are. It's kind of like when there's a war now, one of the first places they attack is the capital city, okay? When I was in the military, they would tell us, the object and the goal, to overthrow the government is to get where the government is. Then you can overthrow the government. And so here, nobody lived there, but you needed people there to protect it, right? So it's a double edge. And so how did they figure out who was going to do it? Well, they had a lottery, if you will, or they cast lots to bring 1/10 to dwell in Jerusalem. So 1 out of every 10 families was told to move into Jerusalem. When I read this, I thought about, what is the name of the movie? I think it's not Dante's Peak. It's the other movie where the asteroid is going to hit the Earth.
Yeah.
And people are going.
Dante's Peak.
No. Dante's Peak is the volcano.
Yeah, you're right.
Gosh, and all of these people that are going in the Noah's Ark, it's called.
Yes.
My goodness. And the lady from
I like the movie.
Madam Secretary is the lead character. Morgan Freeman is the president. Anyhow, he's somebody.
No.
Man, that's gonna mess me up. If anybody remembers the name of that movie, put it in the comments. So they have to. There's a selection process of who gets selected to go be in this cave, because they know when this deep impact. Thank you. When this asteroid hits, I'd have got it right then. There's going to be a deep impact to where the water is going to flood. The water's going to come. It's going to be huge tsunamis, and millions of people are going to lose their lives, et cetera, et cetera. But this place, and also, there's not going to be any vegetation and all these things for months. And it's not even as bad as they thought it would be. So, but they ended up saying that these individuals would be placed into this holding area. You've been selected to go here. If you were a scientist and this and that and the other, they selected certain people to go there. And so this is that concept, okay, where they said, okay, we need 1 out of every 10 families are going to move into the holy city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. Okay, so they didn't want to decrease the population of those other areas and other cities, but they needed people in the capital city. And the people blessed all the men who willingly offered themselves to dwell to dwell at Jerusalem. All right. Now, so the people are excited, like, man, I'm glad you decided to go. That's a great thing. Then it tells us who these people were. These are the heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem, but the cities are who. So all of these names are written, they're brethren. Then verse 15 picks up the Levites who were there. And it tells in verse 18, all the Levites in the holy city were 284. Okay. The rest of Jerusalem, the Nethinim, overseer Levites, it goes down there. Skip down to verse 25. The people dwelling outside of Jerusalem and as the villages with their fields. Now, these are the people that's not in the city, that out on the outskirts or in the suburbs, as we would call it, all the way through chapter 11. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No. I want a Malcolm X look white, don't it? Oh, yeah, not like that. Not like it. Look white, don't it? Yeah, from Malcolm X. If you saw Malcolm X, you know what I'm talking about. When he not perm his hair. What do you do? Not relax, whatever. So then it goes into saying who they are. Chapter 12 continues. The priests and the Levites. All of the names of those who were in the city. Now, if you want to deal in all of the different Hebrew names, by all means, go right ahead. So during the reign of Darius, verse 22, during the reign of Darius the Persian, a record was also kept of the Levites and priests who had been heads of their fathers' houses in the days of Eliashib, Jehoiada, Johanan, and Jaddua. I think that's how you say it. So this is where Eliashib, if you remember, that's back further in Nehemiah and in Ezra. Okay. Then it goes down to who those individuals were. When we get down to chapter 12, verse 27, which is where we'll pick up tomorrow, is where we have the dedication of the wall.
Okay, Mr. Freeman.
Nehemiah, ending chapter 9, chapter 10 and 11, and a piece
and into
of chapter
12. Okay.
One hand on you. So pick up verse 27 tomorrow. Thanks for being with us today for today's Midday Motivation. We're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Midday Motivation. I know.
Oh,
Come on, tell the Lord thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. We don't forget this Sunday. This Sunday we will be in the house of God. We will be in the sanctuary and in the overflow room for 8 a.m. service and 11 a.m. service. Yes, you will be socially distanced. Yes, you will have on your mask. Yes, we will take your temperature. Yes, you will. You will have to listen to the ushers, and yes, you will need to put your name down. So if something does happen, that's available for contract.
Could you go back to that second to last one you said? Yes, you will have to listen to your ushers.
Yes, I know you got your favorite seat.
No,
you've been sitting there for 50, 11 years, but you don't have to sit where they tell you to sit.
Where they tell you and do it with joy.
Mm-hmm. Not even if you
love you, Daddy.
You might be saying, "Well, I get there early. I can sit where I want." No, you can't.
Cannot.
Nope. We got to fit. You know how the teacher told us years ago to fill up from the front? We got to fill it from the front. All the way back, okay? And then those that are not there to be in the upper room in the sanctuary will be their seating available in the overflow as well. All right. And so, again, if you don't feel well, if you got some symptoms, what have you, stay home. If you still want to stay home, that's fine. Its service will still be virtual for those that are not quite ready to come out yet. But we will be in worship on this coming Sunday at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Sunday school at 1:30 p.m.
Virtually Sunday for Sunday school.
All right. So please, ma'am, and please, sir, come on out and be with us as we worship the Lord together. It's been a while since we've been in the house of God, and I'm looking for it. You looking for it?
I am, but I really want y'all to listen to the ushers.
Yes, please listen to the ushers.
Please listen.
And they're not being mean; they're just telling you the facts.
And it will be firm because it just has to be.
Yep. And so
we're doing it because we love you enough to save your life. That is the whole goal. To keep you healthy, to keep you engaged, but to keep you alive.
Amen.
In every area of your life.
Amen. We have to be vigilant. We have to listen to what the officials say. Listen, there's a lot of folks right now that are not listening to the guidance that's given. Okay, there's a whole lot. And so we're not going to put ourselves in that situation. Okay.
We love you too much. Do that.
So we're loving our neighbor and we're going to do it that way. All right. Absolutely. You can still give online. You can, there's an opportunity to give when you leave worship, as you leave, and you'll be directed in how to come in and how to leave. Go out. So it's all good. No worries. Sanctuary will be clean and whatnot. The focus is to love your neighbor. Oh, let me say this. There are no pew Bibles. There are no hymn books in the pews because we can't have those there. And then somebody touches it and then the next person touches it, what have you. And then we can't mist and fog and do all the stuff we need to do. And the books not get destroyed by the moisture. Come on. This can all be summed up by saying this. One, love your neighbor. Two, just be obedient. That's it. Three, do it with joy. That's just a bonus. We just need you to do it. It'll make everybody happy if you do it with joy. And 4, come worship. That's it. And 5, if you got a key, don't use it. Oh, God. Thank you. Those of you that have keys, leave your keys at home. Leave your keys at home. You do not need them. You will come in the door directed and you will leave out. There'll be signs that say, do not come in this door. Key or no key. You must be obedient to the instructions. Right? If one bad apple can spoil a bunch, one bad member can spoil what we're trying to do. You need to bring your own mask. Bring your own mask. So bring one with you. If you by chance, if you're on the way to church and say, oh my goodness, I forgot my mask, keep coming. We got you covered. But bring your own mask. That is emergency basis. We have some emergency masks. There's sanitizer. There's all those different things. Worship is about 1 hour, a little over an hour. So you won't be sitting there long. You won't be worshiping sitting there. You won't be worshiping a long time in the sanctuary. You're going to be worshiping all the days of your life, but you won't be in the sanctuary a long time. You won't be in corporate worship a long time. So, come on. About 60 to 70 minutes. Come on, because we're going to tell the people to stand. Where is it? Verse chapter 9. That's 3 verses. Yeah, because you done went all 3 chapters on us. All right, folks. See y'all on Sunday morning. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for Midday Motivation. Remember this, we love you. And you can't do a thing about it. All right, grace and peace.